Well, if you were suspecting that GMOs are toxic and cause cancer and we're just waiting for confirmation of this from a peer-reviewed study, well, now you have it. First peer-reviewed lifetime feeding trial finds safe levels of GM maize and Roundup can cause tumors and multiple organ damage. This is a study that was conducted over a period of 2 years on rats, 2 years being their entire normal lifespan, by Dr. Gilles-Éric Seralini from France. And you can see the abstract of the study here. So basically what happened was that there had never been a long-term study on GMO effects before. Monsanto had done some people had done some, but they were only 3 months long. And so that really doesn't give you an idea of what the long-term effects are. So Dr. Seralini and his team decided to do that, to fill this gap and to find out what the deal really is. So they fed some of the rats GMO corn, some of them got GMO corn and some exposure to Roundup, and the other group got just exposure to Roundup, and there was also a control group. And what they found was that the rats got tumors at 2 to 3 times the normal rate. They were hit by the 13th month of life, or by the 13th month of the study, with a lot of heavy disease, notably tumors, which in the females were especially breast tumors, which sometimes attained 25% of their body weight. So these really huge tumors. And in the males, it was the liver and the kidneys that were hit with severe abnormalities. And it says that the rats that were fed the GMO corn developed tumors a lot earlier in life. For males, it was 20 months earlier, and for females, 3 months earlier. The French paper Le Nouvel Observateur has been covering this really in depth. There's also a video up here on Daily Motion interviewing Guillaume Mallory, the journalist from the Nouvel Observateur. And one thing that he mentions is how this study had to be done in secret. I mean, extreme secrecy. They grew the corn, processed it to make the food for the rats, and fed the rats this. And they did all this in absolute top secret. They couldn't even communicate via email, and if they did, it had to be heavily encrypted. And the reason for this was to prevent their study being sabotaged. Because as you probably know, the biotech industry is like a mafia. And so if some scientists wanted to undertake a study like this, they would probably be targeted. And anything could happen to their study. Like anything could be done to disrupt it so that they couldn't complete it, or that it would confound the results. So that's why they had to be extremely careful so that nobody would find out they were doing it, and they succeeded. And what's more is that Professor Gilles-Éric Seralini is publishing a book called Tous Cobayes, which means like all guinea pigs, which is all about GMOs and denouncing how dangerous they really are. And this is also being made into a film by Jean-Paul Jot. So these books, the book and the film, are in French, but I know that some of you who listen are francophone, so I thought you might want to go check these out. There have been other studies done in the past that showed that GMOs are dangerous. There was one done on mice that showed that soy affected fertility, and it also affected the survival rate of the newborns. There was another one done on a certain type of GMO that had a pesticide built in that showed that it affected your digestive system, that it changed the flora so that you actually have like pesticides inside you. And there was another study done by Dr. Arpad Pushtai in, I think, Scotland, that he fed the rats GMO potatoes and they had organ damage and brain shrinkage. And there's also been studies done that showed that the GMOs are dangerous to the environment because of the way that they kill not only the target pest, but other creatures such as monarch butterflies and also bees. So I'm really glad that they were able to do this study, and as the journalist Guillaume Mallory points out, with the results that they got from the trial, if this was a clinical trial for a drug, then all distribution of the drug would be suspended until further trials had been done to show that it is safe, because at this time it does not look like the product is safe. So because of this, now French activists are pushing for the French government to reject GMOs because they had started to introduce them. So please circulate this information. Make sure to let people know that GMOs are dangerous, and they're in your food. They're in the processed food. That's what you have to avoid. Anything that says cornstarch or corn syrup or anything with corn. The corn's all GMO. So the way to avoid that is you don't buy processed food, and don't even buy corn unless you know it's not GMO. And the only way to know that pretty much is to buy organic corn. So I just want to let you know the evidence is there that the GMO corn is very dangerous. So be careful. And thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.
I'm a Jew, he a Jew, she a Jew, we some Jews. Wouldn't you like to be a Jew too? Only if you're in the bloodline.
The poison water with the fluoride, the GMOs, the aspartame, the mercury, all of this stuff. And Mike Adams, the health ranger, has put together huge breaking news. It's at Infowars.com and naturalnews.com. It's the top story, linked in Reddit, Infowars.com right now. New GMO study, rats fed lifetime of GM corn grow tumors. 70% of females die early. This in big new studies. Now, there's been a lot of other studies as well, showing within 3 generations near total sterility, 99%, hair growing on the tongues of the rats, the guinea pigs. But this is a new big one. You want to know what the New World Order stands for? It's not just about grabbing power. They're poisoning everybody. They're eugenicists. And joining us is Mike Adams. I know he's very busy today. He's getting ready to launch a lot of new stuff, so he's not been able to come on a lot lately. He will be on the show Monday, by the way, with some more breaking news. But Mike, my friend, break down this huge report with photos. And we'll be showing some of those to PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. Radio listeners, just go to naturalnews.com or Infowars.com and see it for yourself. But Mike, break down what we're facing here.
Yeah, the photos are shocking, Alex, and the study found horrifying tumors growing at a 200 to 300% increased rate in these rats that were fed a lifetime of genetically modified corn. This is Monsanto's variety of GM corn that they fed these rats. You know, you've been covering today the bullets, the DHS bullets, 1.6 billion rounds of bullets. That's a huge story. The GMO story is related to that in the sense that food is now a weapon.
Yeah,
Alex.
these are soft kill bullets so they can kill us, and then we creep back 10 years later dying, and they suck all our savings out of us at a Rockefeller death camp known as a hospital.
Yeah, if they don't get you with the sniper rounds of the ballistic 308 bullets that they're buying, they'll get you with the food. That's what this is all about. Now, here are some of the big findings. 70% of females suffered premature death, and up to 50% of males suffered premature death. Severe organ damage in those who ate this for a lifetime. We're talking liver damage, kidney damage, damage throughout the entire body system, all of biology damaged by this. We're talking a massive increase in large tumors. Tumors so large, Alex, that I don't know if your producers can show some of the pictures on screen. They are horrifying. It shows tumors so large that some of these rats had to drag the tumors across the floor as they were trying to crawl. They're so large.
And by the way, everybody I know has young family dying, brain tumors, breast cancer. I mean, they're murdering us in a hardcore kill-op.
Absolutely. And remember, the USDA and the FDA, they don't require long-term studies. Most of the studies that have been done out there have just been 90 days. This is the first study, and this is why this is breaking news, just hours off the press. It's the first study to study a lifetime of GM consumption in the lifespan of a rat, which, of course, is relatively short compared to humans. But what it means is that those parents who are feeding their children GMOs today, they are cursing those children to a lifetime of massive tumors, massive suffering, massive premature
death. But they get to slice them all up at the facility and have runs for the cure and everything, while the very system murdering them sucks even more money.
And that very system, remember, the people who think they're part of that system, their children are going to die of these tumors.
They love it, though. They love that. That's a sacrament to them.
It's insane, though. I mean, think about the regulators. They think they're getting away with
the average yuppie loves dolling their kid around town while they're dying of cancer to get attention. So they'll probably try to give them cancer. This is very exciting for them. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, all the fake environmentalists and transhumanists who say there's too many of us, again, double up for your kids. You know, death is good. Go ahead.
Hey, it's no coincidence why the globalists are supporting the two things that are killing us all off, Alex. That's vaccines and GMOs. And now this study, it's published in the Food and Chemical Toxicology Journal. This study by French researchers.
Very prestigious.
Well, it is. and it's the first study to look at a lifetime of what happens. The point is, I think that GMOs are the next thalidomide. Thalidomide, remember that drug that they gave to pregnant women?
Well, it's going to be a lot worse than thalidomide, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but anyway, that's the basics of the story. I know your time is tight today.
No, keep going. I just get so angry. Go back to thalidomide. Guys, show the thalidomide children with their little arms and legs being tiny. Showed people, but that only hurt millions. This is attacking billions.
Absolutely. Remember, thalidomide was declared totally safe by the FDA. The doctors prescribed it. They said, oh, it's completely safe. There are no side effects. Go ahead and take the drug. And then the children were born with no arms and no legs and all these horrifying birth defects. And the company that made thalidomide, the drug company, didn't apologize for 50 years. And even when they did apologize, they said it took us 50 years because we were in a state of shock. Really? A state of shock for 50 years? Well, how much shock are we going to be in when billions of us start having these tumors from eating GMOs right now? That's going to be probably the greatest scientific disaster in the history of human civilization. It's all done in the name of science, but it's junk science. It's corporate science. You know, it's the science of death. It's the scientific dictatorship that you often refer to. And these scientists are getting paid to push this stuff onto people, and it's poisoning the people. There's no question about it.
We're going to put some of the thalidomide, I'm always having trouble pronouncing that, thalidomide children up on screen for prisonplanet.tv viewers, but anybody can Google the images and look at it for yourself.
Well, and here's some of the rats. Here's some of the images of the rats with their massive tumors, or you probably have better shots there, but I mean, the tumors are so large on these rats that they can barely move around. They can barely breathe. Some of them, you know, that's why they die early. They die from the tumor taking over. We are looking at a massive, just a generation of human beings who are going to be, I think they're going to end up in the same situation as these rats. Now, it's a boon to the breast cancer industry. The breast cancer industry loves GMOs because they get to diagnose more women, treat more women, chemotherapy more women, irradiate more women. That's money for them. That's their profit.
Torture more women, bury more women, bury more mothers, bury more daughters. It's just wonderful.
Well, that's the story, Alex. We're being soft-killed. The proof is now in the journals that anybody who eats GMOs at this point is committing suicide, basically. So people, look for organic corn, especially if you eat corn, make sure it is organic. I'll be covering this in more detail on Monday when I'm guest hosting the show. We're going to go into protecting yourself from radiation, protecting yourself from GMOs, and also, Alex, I have some breaking news about protecting yourself from MSG. That's something that no one has really been able to talk about yet. We'll have that on your show. We'll have that on your show, breaking on InfoWars on Monday.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for breaking this down, but I want to come back and spend 5 more minutes while we've got you because this is so important. Continue with what this study shows, because I've seen earlier studies. You can just type in, you know, studies show organ failure, sterilization, or infertility from GMOs. I mean, we've seen other studies. I guess this one's important because it went for so long.
Yes, because it's the first study to really look at the lifetime effects of GM consumption. Now, they fed the rats genetically modified corn from Monsanto and a trace level of the Roundup pesticide, levels that are legally allowable in the U.S. water supply. So that's what the rats were fed, and that's what they drank. And with that, the different pictures here show rats with just the GMO showing tumors, rats with the GMO plus the Roundup, these tumors here in the middle, and then here on this side is just the Roundup in the water. So no matter which way you slice it, cancer tumors were large in these rats, and they were much larger compared to the control group. So we know this is good science. The scientists have posted a video on YouTube about this. I don't have the title for that, but another
video. You have it linked in your story. Here's another one from a few years ago. Monsanto's GMO corn linked to organ failure study reveals. We'll throw that up on screen real quick for people. Just type in GMO linked to organ failure. You'll get literally thousands of articles. And Mike, you privately told me about some stuff. The establishment's getting ready to try to strike back against those of us trying to expose their operation. Alex Jones here with a message that could revolutionize health in this country. Going back about a year and a half ago, I began to learn about the incredible health effects of longevity products. Aaron Dykes lost 92 pounds. We're going to show you some before and afters. Aaron, break down what happened, your story.
I've worked really hard with diet and exercise to try to lose weight, but I just didn't get the results. It just didn't happen. Then I saw what you were doing with InfoWarsTeam.com. I wasn't even trying to lose weight, but I got it because I wanted to feel better energy. I wanted that nutrition. Didn't even understand how that could kickstart my own weight loss goals, but the products did that for me. I found myself suddenly losing weight, more energetic, wanting to exercise, wanting to eat the right foods.
And they don't even advertise it as weight loss. I want to challenge our radio listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com, sign up as a distributor, and get wholesale pricing discounts at InfoWarsTeam.com. There was another big mainline scientific study out last week where scientists identified this new big wheat that's being rolled out, this GMO, that it has the same genes in it that basically program organ operations, and that they're predicting it's going to cause organ failure. None of this is by accident. People need to understand Monsanto with this dioxin, Agent Orange, all of it. That was really a chemical weapon. They were really mixing a neurotoxin with the Agent Orange. It was really a chemical weapon against the Viet Cong, but also soft killing our own troops. That's all been declassified. I've had generals on to break that down. So you need to understand, we're dead already. They've only got 8 major GMO crops we've been eating for about 15 years. It's already devastating us. They're now coming out with over 100 GMO crops. Everything's going to be basically GMO you eat. So you won't be able to escape it. And they're making sure you don't label things, making sure that that doesn't happen. And they're spraying aluminum on us and fluoride in the water, a acid form of it, so it's much worse. You need some calcium fluoride, different animal. They try to confuse that. Mike Adams, I mean, actually, John Bound out there got angry during the break. He has a young, sweet daughter who I've met, close to the age of one of my young daughters. And he said, well, that's it. I mean, we're all going to have giant tumors in 10 years. We'll probably won't have to wait. I mean, I know so many young people dying all around me. It's just death, death, death. It's so much fun. And we have these murdering eugenicists, and the GMO companies are on record at their cafeterias not serving GMO, and it's all funny to them. It's all funny, and I mean, where does it end? I mean, I guess this is just it. They're soft killing us. The Nazis ran you into pits and shot you in the back of the head. These guys just shoot you with the food, and if you get a little too uppity, they got 1.6 billion bullets to actually do it.
But I believe, Alex, there is a way to have a nutritional shield against the toxic tumor-building effects of GMOs. And this is why it's so important that you and InfoWars continue to teach people about micronutrients, the trace minerals that are so important. I believe, even though this hasn't yet been borne out in the studies, but I believe it will before long, that if you eat superfoods and if you eat the trace minerals and if you get your nutrition in a supplemental form, because most of the foods are depleted, then you can actually prevent a very large portion of your normal cancer tumor risk that might have been enhanced by the GMOs.
Well, that's admitted with antioxidants and stuff. I mean, it's admitted if you have the,
But I think that most of the people who are going to die from GMO tumors, let's say, are people who have poor nutrition, who are nutritionally depleted every single day. They're low in vitamin D, they're low in magnesium, they're low in selenium, especially, or selenium is crucial for preventing cancer, they're low in zinc, and so on. All of these things, you can get those things in a supplement form from high-quality supplements or superfoods or certain wild-crafted foods. Organic foods have higher nutrition and so on. But if you eat the standard processed diet,
you're dead.
You're
yeah,
dead.
Sure. If you're eating the standard McDonald's, stuff fried literally in silicone, this stuff will get you. You'll die when you're 50 instead of, we would live to 100, but we die at 90 because we fought back against the soft kill. Clearly, there are actually studies out there that show that, dealing with the superfoods. But expanding on this, Mike, how do the elites think they're going to get away with this when the White House science czar has written in 4 different books that they're jacking the food and water? I mean,
the elites know that they have monopolized the debate over science, and they just slap the word science behind everything that's killing you, and then they claim it's scientific, and you can't argue with them. Now, I'm not against all science, by the way.
No, Al Gore said pay him money. Global warming's happening. It's scientific. Right. No one disagrees.
Right. Well, vaccines, they claim, are always scientific, even though they're really experimental. The fluoride in the water, they claim that's scientific, even though it's toxic pesticide, insecticide chemicals. And then the GMOs, they claim that's scientific.
Maybe if somebody beats your brains out with a baseball bat, the cops show up and you're like, you killed this guy. But it's scientific. I mean, come on.
Hey, sniper bullet ballistics are also scientific, Alex.
Do you understand how dark it is? How far down the line we are? How late it is?
The only reason the global transhumanists, eugenicists, masters of death may win is because their evil is so massive and so over the top. Average people can't deal with it. Mike Adams is our guest for 5 more minutes, then the one, the only Gerald Celente is joining us. Mike Adams has this huge breaking news at naturalnews.com. It's also mirrored, red link at the top at Infowars.com. New GMO study. Rats fed lifetime of GMO corn grew tumors. 70% of females died early. Now, the issue here is that I wanted to say finally is the UN openly, through Codex Alimentarius, is trying to ban vitamins and minerals over the counter. In South Korea, you can't get an aspirin without a prescription or vitamin A or vitamin E. They're doing everything they can. They're eugenicists. They say there's too many of us. All this that we've seen the last century, injecting little kids with syphilis. This year, Big Pharma coming out, caught giving people MMR in the shots. All of that was just a test. I want to see if you agree with this. Now, as they set up their world government police state straitjacket, that's meant to just organize now as, you know, cancers start going up. You think 10,000% is good in kids? How about 50,000%? Hey, you know, 1 in 25,000 kids have autism. How about 1 in 58? I mean, they're really just testing, turning up the background noise, seeing how much they can get away with right now. That's why people like you, Mike, and the scientists that did this study are on the very cutting edge. The listeners of the show are of saving humanity, because this soft kill operation, this war is raging around us, Mike.
Well, and this is why it's so crucial that for those listening, if you want to save this republic, if you want to beat the globalists, you got to first stop the cancer tumors. You got to first take care of your health. I like to use the phrase nutrition for patriots. You know, a lot of the organics and this kind of thing started in the progressive movement, but really it's the patriots who should be eating all organic, who should be eating the superfoods, who should be taking the nutritional supplements, because if you can't take care of your health, you're not going to be able to take care of your republic.
It's a weapon system. It's a military weapon system of the globalists. You've got to stop letting them shoot you.
Absolutely. That is it. And this is so crucial. Look, it's also cognitive function. If you don't have good nutrition, your mind doesn't work right. I mean, studies just came out in the last couple of days about BPA altering hormones and altering cognitive function.
All by design.
Absolutely. So you got to protect your brain. You got to protect your fertility. If you don't protect your DNA, Alex, your lineage has no future. And that's what the globalists want. They don't really care if they kill you, although they seem to be accelerating that. But what they really want to do is kill off your entire line of offspring. That's their goal. That's where Bill Gates comes in, and his money is funding these infertility technologies. They zap your scrotum with ultrasound, and you can't have babies for 6 months or 12 months.
And they've got rice coming out that does it. They've got it all, and they've got mosquitoes that deliver it, and they admit. Yep. You're absolutely right. They want to destroy our seed. The globalists understand that's what the real power is, and they are openly saying they want to destroy our human essence, to quote General Ripper in Dr. Strangelove. They make a joke out of it, but they're telling you right there, we are I mean, already the sperm count's down almost 90%, 87%. The DNA is already damaged. I mean, these people have committed a sin of a magnitude that's hard to imagine.
Well, and look at what else attacks your DNA. The TSA's naked body scanners, the ionizing radiation, the
cell
CT
phones.
scans, everything. All of the radiation damages DNA, and then the food damages DNA, and then the pharmaceuticals damage DNA. The DNA damage from pharmaceuticals is just legendary.
It's almost like the elite really are aliens from another planet come to destroy humanity. I mean, the elite we've got might as well be little demonic green men from Pluto.
Hey, remember the movie Prometheus? What did they do? They built a bioweapon. They were going to send that to Earth to wipe out life in order to create new life. That was their excuse. Hey, I'm not saying that's real, but it's a metaphor for what's real.
Oh, no, that's why that film's total Illuminati Inside Secrets. And you notice the brother of the guy involved making it, just jumped off a bridge. All right, Mike Adams. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Look forward to you for 3 hours Monday in studio. Naturalnews.com to get the report. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio.
Please don't tase me. Don't tase me, bro. I'm an old man. I got a heart condition.
What up with it? It's your boy, O to the D, aka Knowledge General of the Jews, doing another dee-talk, elite. And this one is gonna be GMO corn causes massive tumors. And this is real life, you know what I'm saying? The study they did, y'all see the video, they did the study, and this is how it's gonna pan out with our kids, you know what I'm saying? You feeding them this GMO food, which in the long run are some nowadays, I mean a whole lot nowadays, where you got this booming cancer, you know what I'm saying? Since this is Cancer Awareness Month, when we come to the awareness that what is causing the cancer, that GMO causes cancer, why is it still in our food? Why do they still grow this crap? You know, I don't understand it. It's beyond me. This is a real live experiment they did with these rats. You can look it up, you know. You go deeper than the two sources I gave you, you know, and shouts out, big ups to the Truther Girls and Alex Jones, because I do listen to them, I'm not gonna lie. I listen to their videos, you know. I listen to a lot of people on YouTube. It ain't just one or two people, it's a lot of them. And I put it together with information. Like, you get information, I like to get more than one source. Just don't run off the same source, off one source, you know. So, yeah, it's like, and I really don't understand when they do studies like this, and they do studies like this for other things to test if it's right, so people can't say, oh, they did it on rats, so it don't matter. They do other stuff on rats, you know what I'm saying, that predict what's going to happen to us if you do this and do that, you know, like tobacco's one of them. You know, that's how they found out tobacco caused cancer, you know, doing it on the rats. And so the point is, you know, it's that real now, and they finally did an actual investigation on it. Like, you know what I'm saying, this is real, you can look it up, this is serious. These GMOs is everywhere, and they don't care, they just feeding it to you. So, but let me ask you another question for the religious freak out there, and I say religious, which has nothing to do, now let me get this right for y'all, because y'all think religion automatically has something to do with the Bible and Yeshua and God, which it don't. Religion has nothing to do with them. Religion was made up by men. You know? They was around before religion and after religion. So the point is, no, I'm not a religious dude at all. You know, I'm not religious. Spiritual. You know, I know who I am, you know, but not religious. So let me get that right for y'all religious freaks out there that like to take the Bible out of context. I'll take it for what it is. Take it out of context of stuff that y'all's father said was bad for y'all to do. Not the Almighty, but your father Satan. The rules he set for this world is what y'all follow. That's not the same rules that I follow and other people that's Bible believers. You follow what the Lord said. The 10 Commandments, man. So there's no one of the 10 Commandments where it say, I just had to bring it up, don't smoke weed and nothing like that, because you got people out there that be like, oh, weed's bad for you, do this and do that, it'll kill you. But they ain't got no studies that'll kill you, none. Okay, no studies. But they say it's just bad for you and you shouldn't do it. And then on top of that, they say treat your body like a temple and put nothing in it that's gonna be harmful, but you're eating GMO food, so what does that do? You know, it's like I don't get it. Like if it's going against the world, you're not with it. But if it's with the world, you with it. I don't get it. GMOs, you don't tell, you know, the pastor don't tell you, well, you're going to hell for eating GMO food. You don't hear that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the point is, I really don't understand what's going on here. Now you have all these people that just sit back and these studies just get done. You see these tumors on these rats and nobody cares. All this money, all these people say they care and they ain't doing nothing. The GMO food is still out there. They still got a war against organic. Not gonna find it. They're still shutting down farms and everything else. So why is they doing that? And we gotta overrun it. of GMO foods, which causes massive tumors. Massive tumors. You know what massive is? It's very large. For y'all illiterate people out there, massive tumors. And nobody cares. Yet again, dee-talk. I'm bringing y'all information that's flooding YouTube right now. You know, amongst truthers. And like I said, man, shouts out to Alex Jones, Truth to Girls. Thanks for the info. Like Alex Jones said, it's an info war, so I'm giving y'all the equipment in this war, because we all that's in this war. It's not just me, it's not just them, it's not just y'all, it's us. So, I mean, we need to go ahead and get it right, man, because spiritual has something to do with everything that's going on. So please don't let them people lie to you and tell you spiritual has nothing to do with this. Spiritual has everything to do with this. Alright, so I don't know, man. Man, they even got the fact that you got the GMO in the food. It's like they pass laws against what they call drugs. You know, to keep them from hurting yourself. But they don't pass laws against this GMO. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no cops. It's just like, hey, we're gonna take you to jail because you're eating GMO food. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be eating this stuff. Why y'all even making it? You know? That's weird by itself. You know? And then you got like I said, I'm sending you. It's going down. But you seen the video, you heard my facts, you heard how I felt about it. That's what dee-talk do. I talk about it. Stop eating GMO food and stop feeding it to your kids. It's your boy O to the D signing out, man. And remember, do this. Crew entertainment, man. Crew or die videos and ain't nothing after that. You dig? You beezies?